Hello, I got Fluffy from Night Shift. Guess they call this their flagship hazy IPA now. I've only had this once at the brewery, way back in 2017, around the time when they started making it. 7% alcohol. This is canned September 23rd, and now it's October 19th, so less than a month. And they don't really tell you what hop varieties are in it. And maybe they used to, I don't remember. Probably Citra. That's a good guess. Something else. Maybe Citra and Galaxy. And it says brewed Night Shift in Boston. They've had a lot of different breweries over the years. And I kind of stopped drinking them because, I don't know, when their quality and consistency changed a lot. And when I first had this beer, it was in 2017 when a lot of their hazy IPAs were super hazy, and they all were very mentholy and kind of too bitter and dry, kind of chalky, just like they were just looking for the haze factor. I always really liked Whirlpool. Whirlpool was one of the first super hazy small batch beers that I had that was really juicy, and I was obsessed with that. But that was best when they did growlers, and they did some cans right after that, and then they expanded a bunch, and things seemed to change at Night Shift. They stopped doing their really weird experimental beers, but that is quite hazy. I kind of turned it on its side, but it's hazier than Whirlpool is these days. Whirlpool is their pale ale, and this also looks darker than I remember it being. Head looks pretty good. There you go, Fluffy. We'll see. Maybe it's really good. Not much in terms of aroma, I guess. It's a little fruity. It's a little dank. Yeah, it has a little bit of that mentholy thing. Yeah, not a lot of bright, juicy fruits. They say sweet clementine, fresh apricot, ripe mango. I don't know. A little bit of that. Doesn't smell bad. No off flavors. It's not too yeast forward and estery, and doesn't smell just like candy. Yeah, it's interesting that it's retained this menthol thing. It's almost like cooling. And it's pretty sweet though. It's very low in the bitterness. Doesn't have the chalkiness that their IPAs used to have. But I'm talking way back. Yeah, 2017. That's 7 years ago. So the first time I had this was well over 7 years ago. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of like a slight caramel malt sweetness, and I'm smelling it too and tasting it, which is kind of odd. Yeah, it's just not explosively hoppy. It is soft and quite drinkable and pretty clean. It might be showing signs of age already, honestly. And the finish is kind of, it's more like fruit soup, cooked fruit. Really sugary in the finish. Just a hint of booze. But it's overall a pretty well put together beer, I'd say. It's a step above some generic mass-produced haze, I would say. But it has that sugary candy ester finish. Just like the hops it's heavy in the hops, but they just don't conquer it. They don't rule the aroma and flavor. They add this fresh green mentholy thing, and definitely a fruity thing, but the fruits just don't come out all out. It's like menthol and then cooked candied fruit, not fresh, bright, and it's not really what I would call juicy. Or, excuse me, maybe like a splash of a screwdriver in there, like a splash of like a teeny splash of orange juice and vodka. But still not really bright enough to be like really orangey. But it's mostly, yeah, that's the main thing. I would say this is kind of like a beer mosa screwdriver sort of thing. Yeah, I feel like they should take the caramel malt in there because that's just accentuating this candy sweetness and moving you away from noticing the fruity hops as much. I don't know. But they've been making this for a long time now, and people like it. When it first came out, it was kind of a big deal, and when I had it, I was like not impressed. But that's when I was kind of Night Shift was becoming something different. I have a bunch of check-ins and like reviews of Night Shift's the 87, their double IPA. The first few times they made that was really fantastic, and I'm looking out for like a fresh can of it. Maybe I'll do a review of it, but only if it's less than a month, because I just don't. I'm worried that it's just gonna be old, tasting old, oxidized. Now it's gonna get cold in the Boston area. I think you can get away sometimes with older IPAs that are sitting on shelves because it's not gonna be that warm. But it's just fine. It deserves, 3.75. And that malt is kind of making it seem older. Not that I'm against caramel malt, or it's probably not Munich malt, maybe. It just seems like going with the trends. So take that out of there and keep it tasting fresher. Because I know that some darker malts can make a beer seem to oxidize more quickly. But probably 3.8, yeah.